Hi, I'm here with Joe Morrissey, Assistant Project Director, Manager for 21 Reasons. This is an organization that I'm sure if you watch our channel, you've seen an awful lot of really great slides on our bulletin board, kind of with teenage kids talking about, what can you do as a parent to engage your child about conversations around drugs and alcohol. And she's here to tell us a little bit about the program and about some of the great things that you do. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I enjoy the opportunity to be able to tell you a bit about what it is we're doing in the Portland community.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Tell us about 21 Reasons.
Well, 21 Reasons is a coalition of concerned citizens to address the access of alcohol to youth in our community. And mostly, although our actions affect youth in our community, we work with the adults in the community because indeed it's the adults that actually control the alcohol.
That's what they're seeing, and they're the ones in the power, right?
Exactly. So we work with business community, the law enforcement community, the school community, and parents and any other concerned members of the community around getting our message out about what it is that you can do to help keep youth drug and alcohol free.
Great. That's wonderful. And so what are some of the things, so you're dealing with all different kinds of groups. You're dealing with individual parents, you're dealing with businesses. How do you approach these different groups, and what are some of the events that you do or some of the trainings that you give?
Well, in the business community, we have developed the liquor licensing guide that's given out by the city clerk's office for everyone who comes to either fill out a new license renewal or a renewal for a liquor license in the city. And it tells all about best practices as well as highlighting some of the important liquor laws that could prevent a business from actually getting in trouble. Not only that, but helps promote a healthy environment within a liquor establishment. We also sponsor free seller-server trainings or responsible beverage service trainings, also known as, at least once or twice a year. And there's actually a new law on the books in the state of Maine that allows municipalities to consider whether your establishment's servers have been trained.
Right.
So it's important now, and I know the city is looking at actually having an ordinance so that our city council can now take that into consideration.
Probably a good idea with the number of bars and businesses where people can get alcohol in Portland is pretty high.
So. Correct. I mean, it's sort of along the lines of the analogy could be, your pharmacists who dispense drugs are trained and licensed to do so. Alcohol, although it's an acceptable drug that you don't need a prescription for, it's still nevertheless a drug.
Yeah.
And so those who are in control of dispensing that drug should have a level of competence in order to be able to locate visibly intoxicated patrons, or to also make sure that those patrons that they're serving are of age.
And you do some work with schools and with teachers, or with just adults around the school committees. What do you do about?
Well, through the schools, we work with them to help develop an environment that keeps their students drug and alcohol free. We do some adult mentoring training as far as responsible role modeling and things that they can do around adults. We also use the schools as a vehicle to outreach to parents, to do some parent outreach. We try and express with parents when we do work with them the 5 tips that can help
Tell
keep
us
their...
the 5 tips.
The 5
this
tips.
Is great.
This is always the nervous part where I try and remember all 5 because I'm setting myself up here. But if you do these 5 tips, and indeed parents that, according to our parent phone survey that we do every other year, parents are actually doing these, and they're showing great progress in having kids say that they aren't getting alcohol from their parents. And those tips are, and I'm totally putting it off, stay up until your child comes home. And just check in with them when they come home. Oftentimes giving them a hug and making sure that they know that every time they come home at night they're going to get a hug from you can help. It's a preventive factor. It's a great protective factor. They're less apt to smoke or drink because they know that you're going to smell it on them. So they can always say to their friends, look, I can't, my mother hugs me and she's going to smell me and I'm going to get in big trouble. And as far as trouble goes, another tip is to have consequences and have them clear and understood, and those consequences should be consistently enforced. So you can't just say, I'm going to give you a pass this time, because it gives a mixed message to your kids. Another tip would be to lock your alcohol up, or at least count it and make sure that your kids know
Yeah.
how much you have.
Keep tabs. Yeah.
Keep tabs of your alcohol. And another tip would be to always, check in with your kids,
Yeah.
even if they're out. Sometimes surprise them to where they say they're going to be, whether it's at a football game or even at a
Sure.
friend's house. And then, of course, talking about friends brings us into another tip, which is to get to know your child's friends.
Really important, and where
Really
they come
important.
from and what their family life is like. and-
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another good thing to do, and this is something that probably should be done when they're younger, is to get to know their friends' parents, and so that you
Yeah.
can share those
And
skills
it's
with them.
easier to do when they're younger, and you can foster that relationship as the children grow.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, this is really great, and these are really simple tips that people can use starting today. What if they want to get more involved with what 21 Reasons is all about? What if they want to find out more information? How would they do that?
Well, terrific. We're always looking for coalition members to join our coalition. Parents, law enforcement, and businesses. And so if you want to learn more and get involved, you can check out our website at 21reasons.org.
Great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for being here, Joe, and come back and let us know when you've got some
Terrific.
stuff happening, or just give us a report on how things are going. We really love to have you here.
Why, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks. Back to you, Tom.